What's up, guys? Ben here, bringing you another video today. It is Wednesday. The season 2 update is live. Let's talk about some changes. There are some big ones that have been adjusted, new maps coming in, a lot of changes in this season. It's not a small list of stuff. So we want to dive through, talk about what it means for the gameplay, the speed of the gameplay, talk about what it means for the map pool now after Major 2. We got some tweets to take a look at, as well as I want to give you some context from a creator call that I had, along with a bunch of other creators on Monday. Shout out to the studios participating. Shout out as well for the Call of Duty PR team for setting it up. Give you some context on some of these changes. So let's dive in. So here we go. Here are the patch notes. I am going to kind of, my goal in this video, because I don't want it to be super long, is I'm going to kind of walk through the patch notes, talk about context. I think I'll discuss more in depth, kind of my thoughts on the maps and what modes I think they're good for. Let's actually get off the rip on that. There are a bunch of new maps that have been added. Stash House, I don't, if you may have played it by now, is a very small map. It's not a comp map, but it's a kind of a fun pub warm-up map. It's pretty mixy. Vista and Departures are two maps we're going to talk about, and Dash House will be coming in the middle of the season. So I have some thoughts on Vista and Departures. Really some basic stuff. I haven't really ran around it enough to tell you if I think it's good for all modes, but I think actually we can have a combo for each one about a specific mode. There are, however, some issues on timing here. So we confirmed sort of earlier, prior to me recording this video, that the esports build will be updated to the season 2 patch. But Clay said here that it looks like we're not going to be able to make changes to the map pool for season, or for Major 2, Stage 2, whatever you want to call it. And then these maps would have to come in after Major 2. And Spencer Peterson, who works over at the CDL, kind of always takes the lead on the map pool stuff. Listen, say what you want about Spencer being a Michigan fan and other jokes I can make about my guy Spinna, but Spencer actually is pretty proactive about map pool stuff, and I want to get him on the blank one of these days to talk about how he saved us out of a few bad map pool situations over the years. But from Spinna, they're going to be adding these after Major 2, and he gives kind of context. And I'll say this, I understand where they're coming from when they say, well, we don't want to add these maps right now because they were testing Rio and we got a Challengers Cup coming on. We don't want to have kind of a different map pool for each level of competition. I think with the more organized process, this could be done, but I don't blame Spencer. In particular, it's a little bit of a mess. And if I scroll down here, Spencer says map changes won't happen once qualifiers start next week after Major 2. They'll be looked into. And a last nugget here from Mr. Spencer. He also said we might be getting maybe a look into some of these maps in rank play during the Major 2 cycle. So we'll see. Maybe we get this in Departures. Once people play enough in 8s and are like, it's good for this mode or that mode, studios will bring it in. And to me, from being on the creator calls, I wouldn't be surprised here. The devs have said that they're really open to, especially for rank play this year, open to changes, open to making tweaks, keeping up with sort of where the comp scene's going and not really sort of lagging too far behind. So we'll kind of circle back on this one. And I would say probably it's like a mid-season change if they bring those in. All right, so we're going to skip a bunch of stuff here. There's some new weapons that got added, but if we scroll down, and we'll get to that in a second, you'll see that they're restricted for rank play. So, it is what it is. Some aftermarket parts. So if you like grinding pubs, you like grinding challenges, a bunch of different options here for a couple of different guns. There is a new vest. It's called the Ninja Vest. So theoretically, you'd be able to run Dead Silence as a vest and not have to equip it as a field upgrade or put the the sneakers on. I think the issue is that with sort of the abilities as vest, I think it is kind of in sort of GA ban territory. So I don't quite see it getting used, unfortunately, in comp. All right, so there were some big gameplay changes here. When we talked to the devs on Monday, there were two focuses on these. One is trying to improve aiming both for mouse and key. And this is across most of the modes, by the way, not just comp. We're also talking Warzone here. Improve aiming for controller, improve aiming for mouse and key, and also to speed up the game a little bit. So keep that in mind as we go through these two. That was sort of like the KPIs when we were talking with the devs on Monday that they were really targeting. The first thing is that ADS idle sway has been tweaked. Basically what they've done is that the sway doesn't start immediately once you aim in, but it's a little bit delayed after you aim in. Sniper rifles are not included in this change. They said on the call it's something they're going to look into, but right now snipers are not included. And something that I haven't quite tested yet is whether or not crack aiming, which you probably saw popularized in a game such as Black Ops 4, for example, resets this sway curve. I haven't tested it, curious to see what people do, but if it does reset it, you can definitely see crack aiming coming back for ARs. Again, I haven't tested yet, so I don't know. But this is kind of a W change for me, and obviously it makes it more, easier to aim, less sway, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to scroll down and you're going to see the hip fire cross sway has been heavily adjusted here. Hip fire cross will no longer sway from the center of the screen while the player moves or rotates the camera. So it's a one-to-one action. It's accurate. It makes it easier to aim. Where you hip fire is where you're going to go. We're going to reward skilled players as like a W change. And I will say that the devs said that in regards to these two things, they are open to adjusting these down the line if they feel like they dip too far into making the change here. So there might be more tweaks going forward, but these are big changes to make in the middle of a game. And I kind of tip developers for really kind of adjusting how this is. They also said, by the way, that some attachments might be bugged for the hip fire things. Just FYI. I think they'll fix that in some quick updates and stuff like that. So this one's kind of a minor one, but players will no longer dive while using the slide only option on controller. There's a new hybrid option. So make sure you go check your settings on this update and check it out. So if you want to be able to dive, tap the slide, all that stuff, like make sure you experiment with it because they've added some additional settings there and you can kind of customize what you want. But the key actual two lines here, and these are really massive, is health regeneration has been tweaked. And really the kind of the main takeaway here is that you get your health back faster once you are getting shot and you're idle, as well as it regenerates quicker. So decrease the delay from 4 seconds to 3 seconds. So that's a 25% change. And you increase your rate from 40 health points per second to 75 health points per second, which is a massive, massive increase. And to give an example, it'll only take 5 seconds now to heal from 1 to 150. So if you're one shot to get to full health, 5 seconds. It's previously 7.7 seconds. If you look at this nice graph here by the folks from Charlie Intel, it kind of shows you in graphical form like how this works out. And basically, again, checks those both boxes. You're going to regen your health quicker and it's going to regen faster. So you can get back in the action quicker. To me, this is a big change. And again, as I said in the beginning of this video, this to me, when the developers brought this up, is they wanted to get people back in gunfights quicker. They wanted to speed up the game. I don't remember any COD games having a mid-game adjustment like this to the regen health rate. It's possible it's happened before, but this is a pretty significant change to how the game works from a flow standpoint. I'm very curious to see, especially on some of the AR heavy maps, how this kind of changes the way sub players play, how you kind of shimmy an S&D. The speed of things, I think, is going to be really key here with these new changes. There have been a few changes. Obviously, the contest spot was finally fixed on sub base, so good on them to fix that. There's some terminal spawning adjustments, so we'll see if that makes that map better, but terminal hardpoints out of here. We'll get to that in a second. There's been some adjustment to melee lunge distance on MW3 weapons, so I haven't tested that out, but that might potentially be a big change. A key thing here is the MCW has actually been a little bit of a nerf. They have increased aimed ADS time by 10% and sprint to fire time by 5%. So again, like at mid-range, I think this is going to speed up the game because it's going to promote more sub players in sort of mixier situations. People don't want to put out a sub, but you're not going to be like pre-aiming as much. But if you're still pre-aiming, the MCW is going to be good. I think it's going to be even better probably now with the idle sway fix. So just it kind of swings both ways here. I don't think the MCW is now not going to be used, but it is opening them up more gameplay for submachine gun players to win some fights where, they're aiming at the same time. The MCW is aiming at the same time. Like, sub players at certain ranges should be advantaged more to win those gunfights. There's been some adjustments to the Swarm 9, decrease ADS sight, ADS time by 8%, increase the range by 12%, increasing your medium damage range by 10%. Yeah, I think the Swarm is fun to run around in like pubs and maybe rank play, but I don't think yet this gun's in a position to really be like overtaking a rival as a comp SMG. But you might see some creators run around with this one in rank play just to have fun and kind of mix things up. Not a comp thing, but shotguns got nerfed, which is nice. That's a W change always. And confirmation here that ranked play, which has now been reset to season 2. So make sure you go on, check that out. There's a few bugs right now with SR and rank resets and a bunch of stuff, but they have adjusted now for the tweaks to the map set. So Skid Row S&D out, Rio in, terminal hardpoint out, Rio in, and subbase is now back in rotation because they fixed P3. And as I talked about earlier, like, Ninja Vest restricted, like some of the new kits restricted, new subs and new ARs restricted. Like they are now, aligning the restrictions to fit the rule set, but also, DLC guns right now getting out there. And there've been some tweaks to SR increase and SR decrease after wins and losses. So the amount of SR earned after wins early on in rank play have been increased, so you can kind of go and gain quicker SR and get up faster to your rank, but also when you lose and you're beyond your skill division. So if you're in top 250, you're going to lose a lot of SR if you do get those L's. And so that is basically it. There's a bunch of events added, the usual kind of fun, kind of cosmetic and other changes made. But as far as like comp and multiplayer gameplay right now, the game should play quicker, more engagements. Obviously, these new maps coming in are smaller. So as we work in Vista, as we work in Departures, those guys are not big maps. And we're starting to create maps that are a little bit more advantageous for SMG players. Because right now, if you're an SMG player on quite a few maps, it was not great because errors are just posted up, they're preempt, and it's gonna be tough for you to gun people off. He's now gonna get more playability, more finesse ability for those type of players, and the game's gonna get a little bit quicker. So we'll talk more about maps, I think, on another video this week. But regardless, I think these are W changes. Again, appreciate and shout out to the Call of Duty PR team for setting up a creative call on Monday to answer a few questions, but like the direction we're going in with the game. We'll get more thoughts as we start to play this season because the update just came out. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the video. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more. And as always, guys, we'll see you on the next one.